Okay, here I am. I'm back, TB here. I was talking about buying his truck 2 years ago, F-150 truck that I got sucked into. It was a nice truck. It sounded good. It runs good yet. It's got a good motor, but it drinks a lot of gas. It's a 5.4 Triton, four-wheel drive. Very nice. Very expensive too. I gave $13,000 for it because it's used, which it was valued at 15 something at the time I bought it. But what he didn't tell me, he told me that the interest was going to be 11.99, and it turned out that the interest rate was 19.49% when I got the contract from the loan or the lender down in Florida. So that's where I'm stuck with that. I got kind of stuck on that deal on account of the interest, and I haven't been able to refinance because of my bad credit and things in my past history. I can't go to a bank and get a regular bank loan to get a lower interest rate either. But I made the big mistake of ever buying on credit on a car. I never had but one time before, but I was able to pay it off. It was an $1,800 loan, not a $13,000 loan. And most of the trucks and cars I drove didn't cost me over $400 or $500 that I bought. And then I went and put new motors in them and transmissions and made them work to suit me. And that's what I should have done that time instead though it was in the winter time and mall needed heat and needed a way to get around. And the car I was driving was good on gas, but it was about to fall apart. Transmission was going to cost me $28 to replace it. Well, it was a little Ford hatchback. Can't remember what kind it was now, but Ford Aerostar. But anyway, it was a good, I had it for about a year. I got it from my sister, and it was a sweet running little car up until that, and great on gas, but it got like, I think, 33 miles a gallon on gas, which wasn't bad for a little minivan. But nevertheless, the transmission went slipping in it, and they told me it was going to cost $2,800 for that. The motor had over 200,000 miles on it, and it was going to have to be rebuilt. But still, looking back on it now, I guess I should have kept it and pulled the motor and transmission out of it. Had the transmission rebuilt and put it back in, and went and got me an electric motor and put a generator and some batteries on board and run it. Because you can run them on electric motors on a little car like that. It's lightweight. It would have worked. But the doors were bent up and I couldn't get them open. It was an aggravating thing. But nevertheless, it would have been cheaper than what I paid out on this truck. In the loan, I got a $2,000 used auto insurance policy on it that covered most stuff but not electrical. I didn't see that in the fine print either. But none of them cover electrical. There's some that do on the new ones, but mine was a used 04 truck, and it was probably 8 or 9 years old then. And it only had 113,000 or something like that when I got it. Got the truck though. And that's why I bought it. It sounded good. It was quiet. They honey oiled the heck out of it. I know what they done. But after about 2 weeks, it went to clatter, clatter, clattering. Well, it wasn't a rod. It's just a lifter clattering in it. But it's been running like that ever since I had it. It sounds like an old Model T going down the road. And I like the Model Ts. Don't get me wrong. They're a whole lot better than what I'm driving. Them old flatheads on them were good. I wish I had another one. I had a Model T once, and I didn't realize what it was worth. It was just an old rusted up looking car, and I didn't realize it was a collector item, and I sold it cheap, got rid of it. I had one of them. I had a Model A. I've had a Ford Torinos, suicide doors on the back. I had one of them, 1969. I had a 53 Chevy. I had a 55 Chevy. I had many different kinds of cars that I could build. Anything from 50s to all the way up to 79 I can rebuild. I can do about anything to them. Your Chevrolet and your Pontiacs are interchangeable on the front end on 5-hole 15-inch wheels. The only difference on a 69 Catalina Pontiac, the left brake line switches over on the right, and the left goes to the right and the right goes to the left whenever you're putting them on the front end of a Chevrolet pickup. That's what the difference is in them. Nobody knows that. I wouldn't have known it if I hadn't tried trial and error and looked at how it was going to have to fit up. And it works just perfect that way. and it worked good, and I drove that truck another 5 or 6 years. A 1975 Chevy I had. I'd done that with a Pontiac front end put on it. I took the transmission out of an old 72 Chevrolet car and put it in a 75 Chevy pickup. Worked just fine. I kept wondering why I didn't have no park though on it to start with. Well, every time I get down to adjust it and hook the transmission up there on the shifting column, it would drop down to neutral on me while I was down underneath, and I couldn't see that. So I finally got my uncle to get in there and hold the shifter all the way up into park while I adjusted the hookups on the transmission underneath. Got it working. It locked in park just fine. Nothing wrong with the park. So there you go. I mean, it's just trial and error, and sometimes it takes help to get something done. Two people sometimes figure out what's going on. Okay, well, with that being said, I could tell you a whole lot about cars from 50s to 70s that will interchange, how you can make a Ford fit a Chevrolet pickup and balance the flywheel, and how you can cut and splice the driveline and balance it from Ford to Chevy. There's a whole lot of things that you can do that I haven't done in years, but on those year models you can. But from 80 on, I don't know a thing about that computer crap. I wish I hadn't even bought any of it. And when I get rid of this paid off or it gone some way, sold or out of here, there ain't going to be no more of that crud for me. I like the body on it. Very nice F-150. The body has a double cab. It's just slick and clean. It's bright red. It's a real pretty truck. But pretty don't get the job done for me. With that being said, I'm going to sign off for now, and I'll be back with you on another video. Thanks for tuning in with TB.